Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Tyler, before we get into the game, how'd it feel, man? Just coming back and being honored. It must have felt great to get all that love and sort of be in that moment again, huh?
Yeah, thanks, John. It was it was great to be back in the Smith Center in the environment. The environment was amazing, and obviously all the Tar Heels giving me some love. I really appreciated it. But to the game, the Smith Center was rocking, and to me, this was probably the biggest win all year. And the reason I say that is because Duke had a lot of preseason hype, and they also have big athletic guards. And tonight we didn't have to rely on RJ as much. Armando, who has been questioned a little bit throughout the season, and especially with this play, especially after the Georgia Tech loss, he had a huge night. And he dominated the game with his physicality, his rebounding, and I really think that caused a lot of problems for Duke. And also Harrison Ingram, he stepped in like you talked about, had a big game. And for me, it came down to those two players having huge nights that really sealed the deal. And, to me, the score isn't really a good indication. I felt like we dominated pretty much from the start.
Yeah.
And I thought that Duke got a little bit of a run there towards the end, which made it pretty close. But I will say that this team's success relies on their defense. And defensively, I thought we did a great job. We held them to 26% from the three-point line, which was huge. But also, you got to give Seth Trimble a lot of credit. He's come in and he has guarded the other team's best player night in and night out. And I do feel like, Seth comes in there and, his impact isn't really shown that much on the stat sheet, but you're seeing him get his confidence and starting to add a lot more scoring. And it's just a matter of time before I think he's going to be one of these players that everyone's talking about in the country. His impact defensively has been tremendous, and he is a great example for a lot of young players who don't get the minutes that they want to come in and do the job that the coach wants and let them build trust and confidence in your game. Then you can start sprinkling in other pieces that you want to add. And that's what he's done. He's really embraced the defensive end, locking up the other team's best players. I thought he did a great job on Proctor tonight. Proctor wasn't really that big of a threat, and he really embraced that. But you got to give the Tar Heels credit. I thought Armando and Harrison Ingram, I thought they were too much. We didn't have to rely on RJ. It was a big win for the Tar Heels.
Yeah. On that note, if I would have told you before the game started that RJ Davis was only going to have 17, would you have thought Carolina won the game?
Coming into the game, I thought it was going to be much closer. And the reason I say that is because I still don't think that Duke has really reached close to their potential. And I don't know why they're such a team that scares me in the fact that I think they're a team that really has a lot of growth left in them because I think they have a high ceiling with a lot of their players. I think they have very talented players. Again, I don't think Jeremy Roach gets a lot of credit for what he does for this team. I think he's been kind of one of these underrated pieces. He's a tough player. He has the capability of hitting big shots. Filipowski, to me, they're just looking for one other player. And I know McCain hit some tough shots. He is a heck of a player. I just feel like there's going to be some growth from one of their players that's going to break out and really, I think, take this team to the next level. I just don't think they've reached their potential. That's why I was a little nervous because I thought they might come into the Smith Center and show what they could be against us. But no, we bounced back after our loss to Georgia Tech, and it was a big win. They played great.
As you guys know by now, we've partnered with BetMGM this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers of the Field of 68 each and every week of the college basketball season. We have a special offer that will be available starting on Tuesday, January 9th and running through Monday, February 12th, the morning after Super Bowl 58. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, in honor of the big game, you can use the bonus code FIELD158 and you'll get $158 in free bets on your first wager with BetMGM, regardless of whether or not you win that first bet. Here's how you make it work. Download the BetMGM app. Sign up using the bonus code FIELD158. Deposit at least $5 and place your first wager on any game. You'll receive $158 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your bet. Just make sure that you use that bonus code FIELD158 when you sign up. And remember, BetMGM is now available under one wallet in select states. As a New Jersey resident, this is super convenient when I have to go cover games in New York or Philly, which happens quite a bit. When you cross state borders, you just log into your existing account and fire away. You don't have to create separate accounts in each state. It's easy, it's simple, it's clean. And most importantly, we have some fun stuff coming up for the heart of the college basketball season. Bet insurance tokens, college hoops odd boosts, and my favorite, a nice juicy parlay boost. So download the BetMGM app and sign up today.
How about I'm having a bad night and finishing with 17 points, 5 assists, and no turnovers? That we've reached the point in the RJ Davis career arc where 17 points, 5 assists, and no turnovers is like his off night. But I wanted to circle back on Armando Bacot because I think that Tyler made a great point in that that's kind of been something that we've questioned with this team this season, right? Mm-hmm. What happens when your guards aren't playing great? Why isn't Armando being more aggressive? Why isn't he look like the All-American? Why not this? Why not that? Well, in what was the biggest game of their season to date, up against their biggest rival, against a team that doesn't really have a 5-man that can slow him down, I think Hubert made a point to be able to run stuff through him and get the ball to him in the post. And he delivered 25 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, 10 of 13 from the floor. Like, I thought he was terrific today. And I thought that he really kind of showed everyone, hey, you know what? I might not be putting up these monster numbers, but I'm still the Armando that I was when we made that run to the national title. So I was really, really impressed with him, and it was nice to see.
Yeah, Armando, sometimes he goes through these spurts where, he's just kind of out there. He's not putting up the best numbers, and all of a sudden a big game comes, and he just dominates, and he shows, hey, listen, I'm still Armando. I can still do these things. And, yeah, it did. I don't think that Duke had an answer for him. Filipowski had gotten a little bit of foul trouble late. And, Flip has really that was a great matchup because I feel like he's a very dynamic big, and Armando's traditionally a down low, bang, strong center. So it was a good mismatch from that aspect of two different styles of bigs going at each other. But I don't think Duke had an answer for Armando. And even Ryan Young, he came in, he tried to give him some fouls and, when Flip needed a little bit of a breather. But Armando was too much for him. And also Harrison Ingram, he dominated the game from a physicality aspect as well. I just felt like we were a much more physical team. And you look at, Ingram had 13 boards as well. He's one of those guys that can he can get some rebounds too. And, I thought that was a big factor as well.
I got to think, at this point, if there was any doubt, I really don't think there was, but UNC cleared number 1 seed, right? There's a whole season left to play out, but if there was any doubt about it, because I saw last number 1 seed coming into today, right? They've submitted that status, right? Anybody have any arguments against it at this point? That to me, they have a lot of room to still climb.
We could still trick it off, so I don't want to sit there and say, hey, it's a done deal. The reason I say that is because I lived through last year, and I don't want to put any expectations on this team. They're heading in the right direction. I do believe that they're going to get better as the season goes on. I think Cormac Ryan's one of those guys that can add more scoring. He does a lot for this team from a leadership aspect, and his spirit and defense. He plays hard. I think he's going to be one of those guys that can add some scoring, but also Jalen Washington's one of those guys that still has the capability of developing and getting better and better. But to your point, I've always said this: Purdue and UConn, they've separated themselves. They're the only teams in college right now that, to me, are for sure fire locks for number 1 seeds. And you could start to make an argument for Kansas, us.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.